If you don't, you might want to not listen. Or not listen. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
If you strike first, no one else will get a chance to, take you out.
If you don't go straight up crazy, that is.
I'm not trying to date any of you guys.
Who cares about the name? It's the episode where they run over the dog. I mean,
he's not a con man, he's a con man, if you know what I mean.
His name was Cheddar.
He's so smooth.
I had feelings about that ship.
Welcome back, everybody, to Adventures in Absurdity.
Woo!
And the crackhead energy is running deep today because they listened to me cheer for the Packers who lost to the Vikings today. And then we vibed for like a good 10, 20 minutes after that. And now we're here. And hopefully Aaron keeps recording because we were having technical difficulties.
Per usual.
Yeah. So this week we've got Abby, Matthew, Emily, Jamie, and Naomi. And we're going to talk about one of the new episodes, For a Song.
For a Song.
Yeah.
Okay, For a Song was like none of the information's on the wiki right now, so that's cool. Wait, let me see if I can find. There it is. Okay,
Nice.
Sorry, I'm on my computer and it's different than it is on my phone. Okay, so it was written by Abigail Geiger. Geiger, directed and produced by Nathan Hubler, executive producer Dave Arnold. It only has a 75% user rating, which makes me sad because I actually liked this episode.
Yes, I loved this episode.
Dang.
So the summary is, after seeing the popularity of Valerie's homespun music, Jules decides to start writing her own songs about what's going on in her school. Soon a musical battle heats up between the two girls, catching friends in the crossfire.
I need to listen to this episode.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
So good.
If you like Buck and Jewel, this is the episode for you.
Aw, if only I had the motivation.
And the music is honestly
I'll do
fire.
it, don't worry,
I would listen to that
I'll
album.
get there.
Yes, and Grace, who sent her notes in the chats, would agree with you on that, Jamie.
I would listen to that album just for fun.
Also,
that was so good.
Guys, shout out to Grace today. She's not here, but she got confirmed today, which is awesome for her.
Woot woot!
Woo!
Congrats, Grace.
Yes.
Yay, baby!
It's a congratulatory harmonica.
We miss you, but we're happy for you.
Yes, we know that's
Exactly.
a very big step in your faith, and we're super proud of you. Ooh. Anyway.
All right. Let's get into the episode.
Opening straight out the gate, we have Buck and Jules, and oh my goodness, the dialogue in this episode is just like, I love it. Oh.
Yes.
Abigail did a great job. I think this was her first episode.
Ooh.
I think it was, but she did magnificent. I hope she stays on for a long time.
Yes. I do too. And her dialogue is super good. She writes high schoolers so well. This is an element I think we've really been missing in Odyssey. And I know it's not in the target age range, but they're doing it well.
Yes.
Yeah, high schoolers.
Woo! Yes.
Boo! Save me!
I'm still waiting for the college spinoff.
Yes, I want a high school / college spinoff with these characters. Plus Cooper, because Cooper was not in this. And Grace would like to point out that she was salty. They switched out Devon for Cooper in this episode. And we'll get to Devon soon.
Is this Stephen's first appearance?
Yeah. And he was in the most recent club episode. Buck rehashing his past. Loved that. Loved that. Let's address the fact that Buck has a con artist past and is ashamed of it.
I do like that they were showing he's ashamed of it, and I totally get Joel's reaction, but at the same time, it slightly annoyed me that she's just like, yeah, well, you didn't go to school, you don't get it. I'm like, don't use someone's past against them so casually.
Yeah.
She apologized, but it still hurt me because it was so casual. Like, she was just like, yeah, well, you don't go to school, you don't get a say in this. Oh, well, sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that. No, you should not have said that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jules is kind of a bad friend. And I think, well, this episode kind of, I'm trying not
I
to
feel
give
like
away
she's
too
very
much.
toxic in this episode.
Yes, and she's
Yeah.
toxic in California Dreams, and I don't want to get ahead of myself
She
because that's
is.
next week.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, well, our listeners should have heard that episode by the time I get this one posted. But anyway, if you don't, you might want to not listen, or not listen. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. But like this is leading up. I mean, there's stuff in this episode that California Dreams refers back to and plays off
Yeah.
of, and they definitely work together cohesively, which I like because something I feel
Definitely.
a little bit is album working together cohesively, like that big storyline that's playing through.
Yeah, because like during this episode, multiple times, like I feel like someone would say something, or like that girl whose name I'm forgetting, Madison, keep bumping into Buck, and like doing things that like they're not necessarily mean, but they're certainly like probably not good. And a lot of the remarks Jules made, and he's just kind of like, yeah, I probably deserve that. Like, you really didn't. You can like stick up for yourself a little bit.
Mhm.
I just feel like he always took it like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. He said he accepted more apologies in this episode than I was comfortable with.
Yeah, I think he probably holds back because, he's scared of, like, living up to what
Right.
everybody thinks that he is. You know what I mean? Like, everybody assumes that. I mean, even if it's not like he marched around telling everybody that he was, like, into the conning business. It's high school. Rumors get around. Like, it doesn't matter
Everyone
whether
knows.
it was true or not. Basically, everybody's going to know at this point. You know what I mean? And even if people don't, they automatically, have this, like, idea of him as a troublemaker. I mean, just from being in the system, people automatically assume that you're going to be, like, a trouble child. You know what I mean? So I think that, but it goes deeper than that. And I think that he's just really scared of living up to what the persona that Mr. Skint had him build, which was that, he wouldn't take anything and would always strike back or strike before anybody else got the chance to. And I feel like that's one of the things Mr. Skint tried to, sort of build into him, was that if you strike first, no one else would get a chance to, to take you out. And so I feel like, that's probably one of the reasons why he's so scared to, like, stand up for himself, because he doesn't want anybody to think that he wants to prove a point that he's trying to give up.
I think Buck fights a little bit of, everybody kind of thinks he's super cool, but at the same time not. So like people like act like the stuff he did wasn't that bad, and he's like, nah, it was pretty bad. Like, I was a pretty bad person. Don't say that it's not as bad.
Like, even what Abby was saying, like in that club episode with the dog, I don't remember the name of it, with Olivia.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Dog, and like they run over the dog or whatever.
Yeah.
What?
Who cares about the name? It's the episode where they run over the dog. I mean,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sparky becomes a three-legged dog.
Yeah, Sparky becomes. Wait, didn't Bernard have a three-legged dog? Someone had a three-legged dog before this.
Tom Riley. Tom
Okay,
Riley had a
thank you.
three-legged dog, and its name was Cheddar.
There's another parallel with Buck and
What?
Tom. Okay, but so in that episode, the girls literally like lost his dog, and he got run over and nearly died. He's just like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Like, no, it's not. You're clearly not okay. Stop saying you are.
Yeah.
And I
Does
feel
Buck-
like that's something he does a lot.
Does
He's
Buck
definitely got a lot of
have
social
therapy?
anxiety based on trauma, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you say,
No,
Matthew?
Matthew, Buck does not have therapy because Adventures in
Why?
Odyssey.
He
are
needs
cowards.
it.
He literally. That's
He needs it.
He is right
He needs
there.
therapy.
Yes,
You can
and
We got close to it with Jules though in this episode. She's like,
Jules
yeah,
got
I write
therapy
down
in
my
this episode?
thoughts because Connie. No,
Oh yeah.
I said we got close because she's like, Connie said this will help.
Yeah.
I'm like, at least we got something. It wasn't much, but it was something.
Mm-hmm.
Psychology, wasn't it, or the counseling? It might have been
I think so. I don't know.
Psych counseling.
Psych counseling.
Like,
I don't know.
oh. And then I don't know. Except for that, I kind of relate to the Buck always being like, "It's fine, it's fine," because when you come from a childhood when everything felt like it was out of control and out of your control, you either A, become a control freak, or B, learn to just be like, "It's fine, it's fine,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine, it's fine,"
Yeah.
and then you become
We
very
saw that a little
blasé.
bit
You
when he was
don't.
with-
Yeah, so like, I really relate to Buck in that instance. You just learn to be okay with stuff that's not okay, so it's fine.
Mhm. Like even when went in the Green Ring with Mr. Skint, he clearly had like little to no control over anything, and he would always like ask. And Mr. Skint used a lot the whole "I saved you," "I take care of you," "I love you, boy," and all that different stuff. So clearly that was often used to like, hey, you have no right to complain or ask for things type.
Mhm.
That's the vibe I got. I could be misreading that. but-
Definitely.
It's what happens when you've been gaslit.
Yeah.
But you know, Odyssey won't actually.
If you
give us
don't
it.
go
They'll
straight
just
up
allude to
crazy,
it.
that is.
Yeah.
Maybe Abigail will be like, you know what? I'm dealing with mental health.
Maybe.
Nah.
Not
As
gonna get my hopes up. But
As Katie would say,
Pastel's
right
over
to
there
focus.
like veto
try to
power.
focus.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so and then what's her face walks up and is being a creeper to Buck.
Bucky boy.
Valerie?
Buck
Oh.
butt. Bucky butt.
Oh my
Listen.
goodness, that made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, that
Is that
was
was that
terrible.
was that Valerie?
Yes,
Yeah.
Valerie.
Yes.
I've only ever heard one of the episodes, I think, where she interacts with Buck, and I swear I nearly vomited in my mouth. It was so gross. She was all like, "Oh, Bucky boo," and all this weird stuff. And I
Now
was
that's
like,
a toxic
I
relationship.
know what I mean. And it was like, everybody knows a girl like that. It's the kind of girl who'd be like, "Oh my goodness, your boyfriend accidentally liked my photo last night." Like, it's that kind of thing. It just annoys, like, that kind of girl annoys me so much. Like, how old are you again? Like, you're really setting yourself up to be like somebody you don't want to be by like trying to, you know, force yourself in things like that. It makes everybody really uncomfortable.
And that
It's
was
like,
just
you're not-
another
you're
scene
not
with
friends
Buck
like
being
that.
like, "It's okay.
I know.
It's good. It's fine. Haha. It's okay, Valerie." Like, no,
Yeah,
stop.
Buck really
Tell her
needs
to
to
back
tell
off.
Valerie to screw off.
I know.
He
I mean,
does.
that sounds like something
That's
that makes
very
me really
unhealthy.
uncomfortable. It is.
It
And I
made
feel like
me
it's definitely something
uncomfortable,
that
and I was
makes me
just listening to
uncomfortable.
it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, hey, listen to my music. And Joel's like, ha ha, I hate her. Anyway.
And then oh wait, no, that's later on in the episode, never mind. I mean, my next note isn't until Devin comes in and he mentions, he goes, "Did you know I was in a band last year?" And there's just an awkward silence. And Jules is like, "Nope." And then later, Devin it's like shooting his shot with Jules, and he's like,
he's
"Why don't we go
trying
to
so
Wits
hard.
End and I'll buy you a milkshake?" And Buck is so possessive. He's just like, "I'm
He
buying her
does.
a milkshake," and you're like, "Oh."
And
Yeah,
then
there's
he
no
was
wonder.
like, yeah, if you ever get tired of this loser, come to me. And I'm like, excuse you. I don't care if you're joking. Excuse you. My boy already has self-worth issues.
Yeah, I know, seriously.
I have to
I'm
say
sorry,
that
this episode was way like more emotional for me and I don't even know why, but listening to it today made me angry for Buff on multiple levels.
Jamie
So
should
I'm
ready to
sorry.
go
I
off.
think it's when they do episodes like this, you know, the things that they include, like, even though Odyssey isn't the best at like reaching out to like older, you know, teenage audiences. I mean, that's not their target audience, but still, you know, they really don't
Right.
address things like that so much. When they do episodes like this, you know, it's got just those little, you know, the little nods to like, well, you know, stuff that does happen like in real life. So I think even though they're more like quote unquote domestic episodes that follow like a more bland storyline or whatever you want to say, you know, it's all something that we can recognize, we can listen, and we can pick out things that we've seen and we've heard. So I think it, you know, relates on like a different level.
I feel like this episode was like the most realistic high school depiction in media I've almost ever seen. Because let's
Yes.
be real,
It was
half the
amazing.
movies, if they're Disney made, they're unrealistic because, I mean, they're appropriate for all audiences, but they're unrealistic still. You got like
Definitely.
High School Musical and Camp Rock, and then you've got like the high school movies that are made for like kids in college to watch that are very inappropriate. Oh, I have a theory though, because next up, Madison comes and knocks into Buck and steals Jules's phone. But she's
that was
redeemed
kinda
later
cute,
in the
though.
episode, as we'll talk. But I have a theory that maybe later Madison and Buck start hanging out as friends, like after this album. And Jules gets jealous. Like, because, you know,
Ooh.
I'm down for
Buck's
that, though.
still a little butthurt from what happens in California Dreams. But we won't talk
Good
about that.
reason.
And so, like, you know, Madison and Buck kind of start vibing. And Jules gets jealous.
Mhm.
You know who Madison
That's my
is, but,
little
like,
theory.
Always like a bit of tension.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like 100% innocent, like
Yeah.
on Buck's part.
That makes
That
it
would
even
make it
better.
even better.
Oh, yeah, Madison has a big crush, and that's obvious. But Buck is just like, you know.
No.
Buck is just a nice
She's a
guy.
cool kid.
Buck's a little
She's
bit
a cool
oblivious.
girl. Well, he
Buck is
knew.
oblivious.
He,
Okay,
like, Jules goes,
that
you
was-
know she liked you. And he goes, it was obvious. So, like,
It
no.
was kind of adorable, though.
Yeah.
Like when he's just like, and he was so nice to her, and she's just like, but I'm gonna go now.
I know.
Yeah. He has game, either way.
Also, they were totally feeling like the place names because you got Madison and Savannah. For those of you who don't know, there is Madison, Wisconsin, and Savannah, Georgia. They are big cities.
Oh, I assumed.
Savannah, Georgia.
I assumed you were talking about like the region, like a savannah, not like a
no,
specific.
but there's that too.
There's a specific. Alright.
Um,
Ironically,
Let's look up Savannah.
I've been to 2 schools, and one of my best friends at my first school was named Madison, and second was named Savannah, and so my brain was just like, okay, we're gonna go there.
that's fun.
Oh my gosh, Valerie.
Savannah.
She.
Abigail Geiger has 13 siblings.
Yes,
Oh.
girl. Yeah.
Wow.
And she
Those
lives
Wow.
in,
Sammy's
and she
eyes.
lives in a cabin in the woods where she's busy writing books and reading with her cat.
Wow.
That is peak,
I-
like peak
This is,
living.
this is
love
the
that.
official Adventures in Odyssey website.
She's just
That's I find
vibing.
that hilarious.
Just straight vibing.
I was trying to figure out how old she was because she acts like a college, like she knows what's going on. Like that's
Mhm.
why I was wondering if she was like fresh out of
Yeah,
college. Or
I'm
something.
waiting for a character to say lit. Like, and I know that's even
Oh,
a little
yes.
outdated.
Gucci.
But,
No.
you
Yeah.
know. Oh,
Oh
didn't
gosh.
somebody say that they say that in California Dreams? We're getting ahead of
They
ourselves.
say lit
Yeah.
in
No,
California.
they say Gucci.
Oh.
Gucci.
Oh,
No, do they
dear.
really?
Yes.
Oh dear.
You mean like as the brand? You mean like as the brand, or you mean like they be like, oh yeah, I saw Gucci?
Jules' mom says something along the lines of "It's all Gucci" or something.
Oh,
like
I don't know whether that
Wow.
makes it better or worse.
that.
That's so funny.
Actually, on this topic of like, can we talk about the fact that the fictional social media they made up was called Face Space, an amalgamation of 2 social medias that high schoolers definitely don't use?
I know, and they've talked
Yeah.
about face a lot.
Like like if it was if they've used the same social media over like a decade or whatever, I don't know particularly, like that's fine. But if they created it specifically for this generation of high schoolers and
Well,
called it
Face
Face
Base has been around
Space-
for a while.
Oh,
Face Base
okay.
has been around for a while.
Okay.
Oh,
Like in 2012, Matthew Parker got what was Olivia got in trouble for being on Face Base or something. I don't know.
Oh,
but, like,
okay. Okay.
oh, Grace just said we stand Abigail in this household, and yes, we do.
Definitely do.
You.
All right, my next note. This is when this is after Buck's story has been put on High School Confessions. And so I love how Devon's just like, your girlfriend is coming, and immediately Buck goes, Jules? And then there's like an ellipse, and then he's like, she's not my girlfriend. Like, he just right away, as soon as she says your girlfriend's coming, he's like, your girlfriend's coming. Jules? She's not my girlfriend.
Yeah. this man.
Boy, you got it bad. I think
It's like that. It's like that post where it's just like, we're not together. What do bees make honey? Yes, dear. That's basically what that was.
Oh yeah.
Basically, though.
I honestly, I think Buck knows he has feelings for Jules, but I think he sees the toxic traits in her and is just waiting for her to like clean herself up.
He knows that it would just not be a good relationship realistically. Like it would be it's nice, the good times are good, but the bad times are bad.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I
definitely
mean?
have on again, off again vibes.
They would have some issues, and I think he knows that. I think he knows that he's not ready for a relationship as well.
Okay, here's the thing. Jules would be the Katrina. Or no, he would be the Katrina and Jules would be the Eugene in this relationship.
Yeah. Jules would be like pushing it, not necessarily in a bad way, but she would definitely be pushing it, and he'd be like, "I really like you, but this is terrifying."
Yeah. Or like I just think of like, Eugene freaking out over Brandon, and like
Yes,
that would be Jules.
it would be like we were talking about with Madison.
Yes. Going back to my theory.
I like it though.
Thank you.
Okay, but the fact that Jules, you go first, Matthew. I can't talk.
What? Oh, okay. This is gonna be going back for a little bit though. So what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna go back too. So go for it.
So this is going back to like, because I also wrote down in my notes like kind of poking fun at Buck. It's like, oh, Jules? No, she's not my girlfriend. But also, I can totally get because like he already knows that people think they're dating, so he can get like, oh, this is who Devin's referring to. But we're still not dating. We're just like friends or whatever. Because like I can
Just wait for California Dreams, though. That's all I'm gonna say.
I've no context for what that means at all. So
exactly. Just listen to it.
Okay.
You can tell.
I have feelings about that ship.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, it's fine if they end up together. That's cool. Like, that's great. And then that, like, it makes it a genuine joke. But as somebody who has lots of female friends, and then people think we're dating all the time, I can see why Buck gets a little bit like, Devin.
That's true. But he was quick to be like, Jules?
That's true.
And then you got it, and you tie it into the whole very defensive about the milkshake thing.
Yeah. So
that's totally fair. That makes perfect sense.
Adamantly like annoyed, he would have been like, she's not my girlfriend. He wouldn't have even said Jules because
you see, if this was Matthew and Emily, it'd be a total. The characters, not you guys. If this was Matthew and Emily, it'd be a completely different story. But the context clues we've been given about Buck and Jules just lead us to,
They're getting there, but they're very slowly. It's a slow burn.
Okay.
But also,
what I was going to say, I was going back really far and say that, he opened up about that story like really quickly, and I have a feeling he's not going to be doing that again, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because
true.
He literally asked her not to write it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awfully underhanded of Jules to be like, oh, I didn't write it down in that moment.
I wrote it down later.
Yeah, it's like I technically didn't lie to you. It's like, well.
If someone trusts you with that kind of information, it doesn't, and they tell you not to share it, you don't share it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you could argue she didn't share it, which is true, but in like when he asked her not to write it down before she ever did.
Right.
Which is what
Buck
was originally
very guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, he was like, I didn't necessarily think that you're the one who posted it, but I told you not to write it down.
Yeah.
That's another thing he gets over way too quickly, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Just, like, I think it's an amazing episode. I feel like Buck just brushes everything bad that happens to him to the side. And I'm like, no, deal with your feelings.
Well, because
I don't deal with my feelings.
When she apologizes near the end of the episode, he makes a comment about not being completely over it and not fully trusting her. He sets that boundary because it's not okay yet, but you can do stuff to make it right, and she's obviously wanting to do that.
Mm.
Which is
That's
pretty
fair.
good character development for Jules, I would say.
I feel like Buck is about the only character development she gets, though, because she's always a brat when she's with Connie.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, sorry. What else?
I was also going to say about this scene when, again, the second, I think, only other scene Steven's in, he really do be shooting his shot with Jewel. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like, come on, if you ever change your mind about that milkshake. And she's just
he's
like,
trying
ha-ha.
so hard.
He's trying so hard, yes. Wish somebody
Are
would
him
try
and
that
Buck
hard with
friends
me.
or acquaintances?
I think they're friends. They both
Okay.
on
I
the
couldn't
football
tell.
team. I feel like
That's
Steven
true. I was just like, I feel like they should have used what's the guy's name, his other friend,
Cooper!
because we already know him. Cooper, yes, thank you. I feel like we should keep it with Cooper and not add new characters yet.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
amount of new characters in these recent episodes feels like a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're probably gonna start changing out the guard. We won't see
That's true.
the Parkers as much.
Oh, are we
and
Yeah.
finally
the
gonna get rid of
Joneses
the
will probably.
Parkers?
Though I could see Emily sticking around for a long time just because her actor is an adult,
Of
and like
Rydell.
Lucy and Mandy both were around
true.
for forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like they kind of crossed the gaps and made those transitions. Like the
I'm sorry,
so you
but
have,
I
like,
am ready for the Parkers to leave.
Yeah, I am too. They've
I've been ready
replaced
for the
their
Parkers to leave since they showed up. But that was just me. I never liked them.
Oh.
I know that's an unpopular opinion. A lot of people like them. But I'm just very blunt today.
I don't really like the
And-
Parkers that much. I like Matthew.
Oh,
And
thank you.
Camilla can be
He was-
fun.
Olivia.
But Olivia's kind of annoying in my opinion.
Camilla gets on
Yeah.
my nerves.
Yes.
Oh, see, I'm
Oh,
okay with Camilla
honestly.
because she's a
Isn't-
younger kid.
Yeah, isn't that supposed to be her
It
characterization?
varies.
Like an annoying younger sister?
I
haven't
like
listened
the
to
family-based
episodes.
episodes.
I just feel like the Parkers as a family haven't made any progress. Like their character
Right.
development as a family is stagnant. I feel like they've taught the same lessons with this family 2 or 3 times over now. And they're just too perfect. Like I've said this before, the reason
Like-
I love the Washingtons so
Yeah.
much is they feel like a
Yeah.
real family.
Mm.
Like the lessons they've learned like 6 times each.
Yes, and they don't seem
Yeah.
to grow very well from those lessons.
No.
But I think they're
And
going to
it's
start
just-
phasing
yeah.
them out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Because
The only
okay,
people
I'm
they
just
haven't
not,
replaced on the family have been Ava and Emily. Not Emily, Olivia.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
if
mixed
it's
Olivia and
just
Emily
like
up.
a kids episode, it's okay. Like if it's in high school and it's a Matthew and Emily episode, I'm okay with those. But when it's a family-based episode, I've never really been a fan of any of
Yes.
those.
No,
Yes.
same. I've never really been a big fan of like the Parker family episodes, like where they go on, family outings or whatever, because it
Mhm.
just seemed really like, I mean, not that they were like bad, but I mean, like compared to like you're saying the Washingtons or like even like like the Barclays or
Mhm.
stuff like that.
The
It's like
Barclays
they
at least
feel-
learn from their mistakes.
The Barclays
Mhm.
at least learned from mistakes, and they were when they went on outings, they were a lot funnier as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Barkley family had their entire like family unit arc when they moved to Pokenberry Falls and all that
Pokenberry.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
They actually
They're like-
went places. It wasn't just
They're one of the few
I feel like all of the Parkers
characters.
are throwaway albums.
Mm.
They don't have an arc. It's just episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Barclays
Randomly
had
thrown
like
in.
George losing his job, and then the decision.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, to
his
become a
pastor.
Becoming a
pastor or whatever.
pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a whole arc. Stewart, first and
The whole thing
only
with Donna
baby to ever be
rebelling.
born in Odyssey.
And they kicked him out after he turned like 1.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
No.
Odyssey doesn't
Con-
like children.
Text? Oh no, yeah, that is
Any
a
children under
No,
the
just
age
talking
of
about-
like 4.
Yeah, like Stewart. He was born, and then before he even turned like a year old, they're like, let's send them to Pokenberry Falls.
Sayonara.
Yeah, I know. And then one of the, like, the closest we've ever gotten to, like, a more, like, deviant sort of realistic rebellious high school action was there was that big thing with Donna when she met that friend Sarah
Yes.
Belling and was going to go to that high school
That
party,
was
high school
good.
party, and they were going to like she
Yeah.
tried to like leave the house and go to the high school party, which would have been dangerous because they weren't even people that she could trust in the first place. And so that was the closest we ever got to like a
And then when
situation
like she
like
burned
that.
the barn down, that was
Yeah, I
something
remember
else.
that. I remember that.
Yeah.
Donna was an angsty little child.
She was.
As a
When
teenager,
Jimmy
she was
grew
like a
up.
goody. She was a goody
Jimmy-
two shoes like child, and then she became a teenager, and she's like,
She was.
thanks.
She got confused. I think she just got really confused because everybody around her was seeing things that she didn't, because there was very much that, like, being in, like, a Christian community and then having to, like, go into the real world. And her realizing that.
Donna was a very good character.
And being
The older I got, the more I
so
respected her.
Yeah. Just realizing
She's
she missed out
like-
so much rebelling.
I feel like Donna would be a lot like Connie if she didn't grow up in a Christian home, like pre-salvation Connie.
They are similar. They are similar.
Yeah, and they were
They're
kind of
very
friends.
similar.
They were friends.
Right, which is weird to
Were
me.
they? Yeah.
Because I would say they're probably within a year of each other in age.
Yeah.
Remember that thing where Donna and her friend fell out or something, and Connie was trying to be a peacemaker
Yeah.
or something?
Jesse.
Wasn't
Jesse,
Donna?
was it? It was Donna and Jesse, wasn't it?
I can't
Yeah.
remember. I haven't
Yep.
listened to anything in ages.
We
I really
need
wish
to
there
do
was,
some
like,
older episodes here.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll start
we
off
do.
season 2
Please.
that way.
Then I'll actually have some context for whatever you guys are talking about. Not salty, I swear.
Yeah.
Once
The Barclays
again,
were just
I
a
am
good
asking
family
the
overall.
AIO thing to do a shuffle button. Like,
Yeah.
I just need a shuffle
Yes.
button on
Yes.
audio.
Yes.
Agree.
Yes.
Oh,
All right, back to the episode.
right.
Um,
So,
The
What
next
happens?
of my notes is about when Butt goes up to Madison and he realizes he's made the connection that Valerie has her in her pocket, and he uses his charm. He does know how to work it though. Like,
yes.
He's so smooth.
he's so
Like,
smooth.
he says
Yes.
is like, oh, I don't really get girls, and then gets what could, in any other circumstance, be considered a date within 30 seconds of sitting down next to her. Like, jeez, man, save some for the rest of us.
And like, yeah.
Sorry.
As much as he's not a con man anymore, he still is a con man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it.
He's not a con man, he's a con man, if you know what I mean. Sorry.
Matthew's
He knows
a
how
little
to
bit
get
jealous
what he
of
wants.
Buck's moves.
I mean, a little bit. This man is like, he knows how to talk to people.
He knows how to talk to women.
He knows how to talk to, like,
Says Matthew, who's in a podcast with like
Well-
3 other women.
but yeah, like, I'm not trying to date any of you guys. Y'all are my friends.
That is true.
Yeah,
Very.
but like, trying to date somebody is hard, bro.
Yeah.
Well, Buck's
And,
not
like,
trying to date her, so.
Well, yeah, but he's still
No,
smooth.
but he was that smooth with someone who has a crush on him, and like that's hard.
He was.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
When
is
someone has a crush on you, being smooth is hard.
True.
Yeah.
I wonder, part of me wonders if he felt bad after that, because he definitely learned how to like hone those charming skills because he had to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, because I wonder if he felt bad afterwards. It felt like he was, giving in, quote unquote, to like his past or whatever.
That's
you
true.
know?
I am once again asking for Jason and Buck to interact.
Please.
We should probably talk about Savannah. Right?
Savannah?
Like,
Oh.
Savannah being like, "Hey, your songs really, really inspire me," and like
Mhm.
she was like, it's in the scene where after everything gets leaked and she throws Jules' books.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Just mention her
actually,
at least.
I liked the character Savannah. I struggled with her plot line, like relating to Jules' songs. I found Jules' song really cheesy, and I understand why high schoolers relate to it. But I found her the plot line of Jules inspiring people like that really cheesy. Is that like I know
No,
that
that's
sounds
fair.
awful,
I
but
mean,
like
it's
that
fair.
to me is the most cringiest part. And maybe it's because me personally, I don't get the dynamics of going up to somebody and saying, "Hey, I really related to this," in terms of music like that. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Like I feel like people
I
would be more
understand
like,
that.
"Hey, this is really good music," as opposed to the lyrics hit me hard.
Yeah, like I relate to songs very easily and stuff, and like I guess they do kind of inspire me, but not in that way.
It's not realistic because nobody in high school,
No.
unless they were really confident or knew you well, would probably feel secure enough to walk up to to the artist and be like, "Your songs really inspired me." I don't think many people would feel comfortable doing that. So I think it's just, I mean, it's obviously in there to show you never know who you might encourage. But I feel like realistically, most people would be too nervous to do that. And it feels
Mhm.
like
I
really
get the
cheesy
in
high school
person thing.
movie.
Like the doing it in person is unrealistic, but her getting messages over social media is not, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because I I do like music speaks to me on a whole different level. Like it's almost like it's insane the way music speaks to me a lot of times. And so like I have literally DM'd people over how their music has spoken to me. So that's not unrealistic in my
Yeah.
opinion because I've done it.
No, I would say something to somebody, but I feel like a lot of people in high school, because they're trying to live up to like, these stereotypes of what high school is supposed to be like. I feel like most people wouldn't feel comfortable.
I'm gonna backtrack
Yeah, I mean
real
that's
quick
fair
on what
though.
I said because I've pinpointed why it was cringy to me. Her going to Jules and saying it was inspiring to her was not as much cringy as the fact that she expanded on it without. She opened up about this thing that was very deep and personal to Jules, who she had never met,
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
and while I am somebody who's very open, something like that, I don't think I would have opened up just like that, so voluntarily and like led with it. And I think it was the delivery of opening up the way she didn't feel natural as much. I mean, it
That's
did in
completely
some ways,
fair. Yeah,
but that's
I get
the
what you're saying.
part that felt cringy to me. And I say that as somebody who's, again, a very open person, but she doesn't know this person. She doesn't know what she's going to do with the information. And maybe it's because I know Jules and I wouldn't trust her. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
But some people like they honestly do put like I agree with what you're saying. I just want to like I completely get it. But the only part would be like the when someone becomes famous, it's like you immediately view them completely differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like people will do anything for celebrities and think they're the best people. Whenever they fall, they get depressed because they thought that they were this great person they had built up in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is a much smaller scale because it's high school and that is a lot like less and she just became popular. But that is true that you're a lot more likely to tell someone famous something than not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I would agree with that. Yes. And this is kind of my last note, and this goes back a little bit in a ways, but it comes to the end of the episode where they should get Valerie's page shut down because she was stealing songs. Whereas earlier in the episode, after Jules published her song, she proposed doing a collaboration, and she leads with, "I normally have a policy against singing other people's songs,"
Oh,
where all of her stuff was actually stolen and plagiarized.
dang.
Whoopsies.
Well, which I just thought
Clever.
was a very clever line.
Smooth.
Yeah.
That's also like that's just awfully presumptuous of Valerie, especially at the very like this is in that scene and it's like I'll even give you credit if you sing with me. It's like, all right, chill. You're like 17 and like have maybe 100 people listening to your music. Chill. Please.
Grace was right when she said that's not at all how I think it was Grace how YouTube
Yeah.
fame works at all.
Yeah,
No, not even remotely close.
it's really not.
And I'm glad that Jules has such great artistic ability, but she just turned out songs so quickly.
Well, she used the
Like-
same
Yeah.
melody, which I kind of have issues with. not
Well, yeah,
gonna
that's
lie.
like
Yeah.
that's kind
Okay,
of like,
but Buck playing the guitar, we love that.
Ah!
especially Eugene teaching Buck to play the guitar. Like,
Yes.
Yes.
Chef's kiss.
nice.
Okay, a slight problem I had with this episode, and I get that like Jules is independent and everything, but she like tell Connie that someone is literally like stolen your phone and is posting it. What is it called? Blackmailing you. Like,
That's true.
Tell an adult.
bullying, because that's what the high school confessions was. They're spilling people's secrets, and the school had no
Yes.
investigation into it whatsoever.
Although
Don't-
that's if it's a public school, there's several confession pages, quote unquote, that my school has, like my high school, and like they've just been sitting there. People have sent in confessions and nobody's done like anything about any of them.
I just think like if she had told Connie is totally that guardian who would have walked up to the principal and been like, "Listen here, bud,"
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
and like Valerie stole her phone. Like, that's
Yeah,
not
that should be
okay
able
either.
to
Like, I don't know.
be punishable.
Okay, I kind of loved how Valerie called Madison her techie Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't have anything else to say, I don't think. I really do love this episode, though. Like, I might have mentioned the issues I have with it, but they're very minimal. I just really love the episode. The interactions just feel very natural between the characters.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very nice.
It was a very good episode.
Yes. And it deserves more
I'm
than a
just in a
75% rating.
Yeah, I agree. There only like 7 people have voted, so go to AIO Wiki and vote positively for it.
Yeah, guys, this is a good episode. And next week, we're doing California Dreams.
Woo!
Oh, that's
What's-
gonna be fun.
So email us, because we've got an email. We're on Instagram. We're going
Please
to
slide
do...
into our DMs, but not in a
Yes.
creepy way.
We do Roll Call Wednesdays now.
Yep.
Where we highlight a member of Chaos and you get to know us a little better. And we're gonna start doing us, we, me, all of us. I'm gonna call it Meme Mondays, where I'm gonna put up the memes that we've made about the episodes we've discussed, and it's about
thank
our
goodness.
AIA episodes. So like, for instance, there's gonna be one that Grace made. It's this little ducky like screaming. It's super cute, and she goes and she captioned it Grace going on a rant or something like that. So like that'll be in it, and in the Rydell Revelations, Matthew goes got rants, so I put it over the got milk commercial, so that one will be
Yeah.
so they'll just be related to the most recent AIA episode.
Yes, please. And
Yes.
if you feel so inclined and make memes about us, please send us them. That would be
Yes!
hilarious.
Or just,
that
like,
Yes.
that would be
Adventures in
absolutely
Odyssey
amazing.
memes in general. Like they're
Please.
yes.
Yes. We need AIO memes this time.
Yes.
That'd be amazing.
If you send them, we'll put them on Instagram. We'll gram them.
Yeah!
Woo!
Yeah.
So, disclaimer. We're also not affiliated with Focus on the Family, by the way. Please don't ever think that.
Today's episode was brought to you by Aram, the recording bot.
We're
We
chaos.
are chaos. Goodbye!